The State Capture Commission is expected to hear Transnet-related evidence from former Transnet Group CEO Brian Molefe. Former Eskom Group Chief Executive Officer, that's Brian Molefe again, will testify on Transnet-related matters. This has sparked accusations by his legal team that the commission is prejudicial and on a fishing expedition. Molefe is expected to answer questions on his visit to the Saxon World residence of the Gupta family, the processes relating to his appointment as Transnet Chief Executive in 2011, and advertising contracts with the New Age newspaper. Well, Transnet says those who attempt to silence whistleblowers will face the full might of the law. It comes after an employee due to testify at the state capture inquiry was shot at yesterday. The incident occurred while the employee, known as Witness 1, was on his way to work. It has since emerged that the employee received death threats prior to the attack. The Hawks say they're investigating the attempted murder incident. All right, for more on this, we're joined now by our senior reporter at Tumaole Mohlaoli, always keeping a watchful eye on proceedings at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry. Tumaole, a very, very worrying story, that of Witness 1. You were there when he testified the last time at that commission. Tell us when this was and, importantly, the highlights of what he said there. Who are some of the people he implicated?
Well, Koli, it was August 2020 when Witness 1 testified before the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, testifying in camera, of course his identity being withheld because he felt that his life was in danger. And in fact, during that time, Witness 1, he was one of several witnesses who testified under camera, under protection of the Zondo Commission of Inquiry.
Yeah.
And he had said that already the reason why he had asked to be protected is he felt he was putting his life at risk because despite his identity being withheld, he had begun to receive intimidating SMSs and death threats, and also felt that he was being followed and being watched.
That means, Tumaole, that means that the people who sent him these death threats may have been people that he worked with. Because how would anyone know, how would an ordinary South African know that he has committed to go and testify at the Zondo Commission? Who else would know that information?
Very worrying indeed. Who else would know that information? Because it would certainly suggest that it would be a close circle, or those who would know where he was supposed to be in terms of working timetables and schedules. And therefore, if someone then withdraws without explanation, perhaps they would have put one and one together. However, that's still in the realm of speculation. So we're not quite sure how this would have happened and how his identity would have been compromised to such an extent that he would have survived, thankfully, a hail of bullets that were rained down on him.
My goodness. Tell us about what he said he observed during his time as Brian Molefe's bodyguard. What kind of activities did he tell Deputy Chief Justice Zondo had happened?
One of the most astounding things, apart from the regular trips to and fro to the Gupta residence in Saxon World, was the fact that large sums of money were being exchanged during those trips, allegedly. Now, he says that he found this out because on one such trip, he was sent back up to the Transnet office where Brian Molefe's office was because Molefe had forgotten, I think, his cell phone or the bag that he was supposed to take.
Yeah.
Now, when the witness went in and opened the bag looking for the cell phone, he then found stacks of money. Stacks of money. He estimated at the time that it could have been anywhere between $500,000 to R1 million in cash. Now, he says that he remembers this clearly because he was angered by this, because as part of Molefe's security detail, it's not advisable to drive around with such a large amount of cash or any such valuables because it would compromise his security. He says that he approached Molefe and Molefe basically dismissed him and said it's none of his business. And off they went, and the money was then delivered to Saxon World.
Well, and there's someone else he seems to have implicated lapha eSaxon World.
Absolutely. On one of those money runs, Toli, as he pulled in, he says that he saw Malusi Gigaba stepping out with one or two of the Gupta brothers. And Malusi Gigaba was also carrying a sports bag, which he put into a boot of a car. And when asked how he knew it was a Malusi Gigaba, he said he noted that he was dressed quite smartly, quite a sharp dresser, and that he was very comfortable, seemed to be, you know, someone who was in the company of friends, and then he drove off. So this puts Malusi Gigaba squarely also at the Saxon World residence. And what was in the bag is anyone's guess, of course.
Well, that explains it now. That explains it now why witness one will be under such threat.
Absolutely.
But we'll leave it there for the time being. Tumaole Mohlaoli, I'm sure we'll talk again.